Okay guys, we have Melissa Delacruz here and she is gonna teach us the art of mixing slick pour, glitter, gel.
Yes, I'm actually gonna do gel, put slick pour in it and some custom glitters and mix it all up to make some new colors.
I love it because sometimes, especially if you're starting, you don't realize like, oh, I can mix this and this and this and create some really cool, unique, fun.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't think they can mix an acrylic and a gel, so it's cool to see it done and know it actually could perform. So it's super fun.
I can't wait to see it myself. Let's get started.
Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to custom mix. First I'm going to start with my slick pours into gel, and I decided to use these colors right here. I think they're a pretty cool palette for right now. So this first color I'm going to use is called Freak for Life. The second one I'm going to use is Citizen Sequel. The third one is Sports Fanatic. The fourth one is Jade Smoke. I'm going to spike everything with Palm Reader. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with my clear sculptor and my precision gel tubes. I'm going to make 4 custom colors right now, so I put 4 little daubles of gel on. So I'm going to open my first one. So what this is going to do is just make my base color for my gel. Wipe your little spatula and go into our next color. So I'm just kind of laying it over my gel, the top of it. Remember, this is just our base color we're going to use. You could put your slick pours to many use. You could use it in gel, acrylic with monomer, all different ways. I'm going to custom mix my Freak for Life first. I'm going to add some glitters and spike it with a little palm reader. My glitters I'm going to add to my color is Pinky, the really fine glitter, Star Sand, a bigger glitter. Now I'm moving to a medium-sized glitter, Crushed Pearls. So let me break this down for you what I'm doing. What this is going to do is create a dimensional effect for me already. They're all 3 different sizes. So anytime you do a custom mix color, I suggest for sure you put different shapes or different sizes, so that's going to create a dimensional effect already. So even if you polish it flat or lay it flat on the nail, it's going to look dimensional in there because you're using 3 different sizes. At least 2 or 3, you could use as many as you want. As I go on, I'll use some different colors and explain as I go as well. So being that I put Freak for Life down first, if I left just Freak for Life, it would make like a flat color, like a cream color basically. When I add a glitter to it, like Pinky, as you could see, these two, this looks dimensional already, this looks flat. So by mixing them together, this is gonna create the full coverage of a color, and this one's gonna give it a dimension. My next one I'm gonna mix is in my Citizen Sequel. So I'm gonna use Crush, Sunshine, Crushed Pearls, and Star Sand. I use Crushed Pearls and Star Sand in a lot of my mixes you'll see me do. I love that in them. I love the glass effect and I love the dimensional effect it gives. So it's really hard to get a neon color in gel. So by using the slick pour, more of a neon color, and a neon glitter, it's really gonna magnify the effect. I'm gonna add a little yellow to make it a little brighter. Sunshine. And put a dash more. It's gonna look like sherbet. Crushed Pearls. Star Sand. Again, mixing different sizes and different effects. So when you're mixing different sizes and different sheens and fine colors, again, you're gonna get that really dimensional effect. Okay, so our next one, Sports Fanatic. Sports Fanatic, I'm gonna put like 6 different colors. So this is gonna be really cool because I'm gonna add a different color I haven't used yet, and I'll explain why I'm adding it. So the first one I'm going to add is Punk Rock. I love this color. Then Surf. Let's add some Shock. Okay, so these 3 colors are basically all the same size. So it'll create a really cool color, but it's not gonna give, it's gonna give like a glow, like a sheen, but it's not gonna give a dimensional effect. So by adding these next 3 here, it's really gonna give it that dimensional effect. So I will add some Crushed Pearls, Star Sand, of course, and Disco Rodeo. Now this is the one I added that gives a major different reflection. As you could see, it's holographic. These are opalescent. So when you look at them close, you could see the different reflection. This is going to reflect more like floating glass or like little shards in there. This is going to reflect like a magnification when you turn it, kind of like bling like a diamond. So it's going to give a different effect. This usually looks like it's floating. Crushed pearls looks like it's floating in the nail. This looks like a reflection. So now I'm going to mix my jade smoke. I'm going to add apple, crushed pearl, and star sand. So here's some apple, crushed pearl, and star sand. Now I haven't added my palm reader in any of them yet. I'm gonna add it at the end once I mix these up. And the reason being is once I mix it up, I see how much palm reader I want to add in it. So what I'm going to do is get a couple of swipe pads here with swipe on them. And I'm going to start custom mixing. So I'm going to push it all in. And I may need to add gel to these. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Sometimes I like to use it runny. Sometimes I like to use it a little thicker. And I'll explain as I'm applying it. Okay, now for this pretty one. For some reason, this reminds me of sherbet. Yum. This one, I could tell I'm gonna need more gel. See, I have a lot more powder. So what I'm gonna do at this point, I'm gonna add a little more clear sculptor. See, you never can mess this up. It's kind of like chemistry. You're just mixing it up to see what you need to add. There we go. So now let's mix this one. Push it into the gel. I may need more gel here too. That's okay. The cool thing about this is when I custom mix these colors, I make enough. Sometimes I make more than this. If I know it's gonna be a color of the season and people are really gonna want it, and I did a really hot set with it, maybe they're picking it off your social media, you don't wanna have to custom mix this all the time. They're picking a custom mix color that you made already mixed. So the cool thing about that is I'll show you what you put them in when you're done mixing them. So now let's mix this color. Ooh, I love this color already. Super pretty. So right here, I could tell I need a little more gel. And actually, if I was mixing 4 in Salon, I might have 2 tiles. It's just easier to pick up and mix. Not a big deal. Can you put too much gel? I mean, it depends how you want it to be. So if you want it to be more sporadic, like if you put a lot of gel and you put it on, it's not gonna be full coverage. It's gonna be more sheer with some color and glitter and spots, right? The little thicker you make it, the more full coverage it's going to be. So it depends on what design you're aiming at, okay? So let's say you put too much gel and you want it more of a full coverage, then just add more glitter or whatever mix you wanna add to create the mix to be more thicker. You just add a little more. So you really never can mess it up. The cool thing about this is it's all imagination and art. When you custom mix a color like this, if you try to mix it again, it's gonna be similar, but it's never gonna be exact. That's the cool thing about what we do. It's truly one of a kind. And this is what sets you apart from everybody else. So now what I'm going to do is spike them all with Palm Reader. And Palm Reader is a variety of opalescent colors, a bunch of different shapes. So this is going to create like a floating dimension effect inside. So now let's mix this up. So let me just mix these up, and at the end, after I have it all cleaned up here, I'll show you what colors they're going to reflect. Now, custom mixing is kind of a messy job, but a fun job. When you do this in front of your client, it's super exciting for them. They like to see you create and the magic happen. When I'm mixing my colors in front of them, that's what they're pretty much paying for when I'm charging for what they're getting. This takes time to custom mix in front of them. If they make a color that I've already custom mixed, it's anywhere from $5 to $10 depending on what it is. If I'm mixing it in front of them, I charge for everything I put in it. And really the reason why I charge for everything I put in it, it's time consuming, right? So if it's mixed already, I've already spent mixing these probably like 15 minutes at the most, like getting my colors together, thinking what I want to put into it, then actually mixing them could take up to 15 minutes. If you book for that, you're fine. I have some clients that are high-end custom. They want it different every time. Sometimes I'll pick a color from my station I mixed already, but I'm always custom mixing something on them. And those clients that pay me for that, once it's on my page, the cool thing about the rest of my clientele, they get to pick that color I custom mixed because they liked it from my page and they're paying $5 or $10 for it instead of custom price. So now what you're going to use, they come in a 4-pack. They are containers for gel. You cannot use the clear containers because what will happen is light will hit it, and what happens with light? It cures, right? So these ones are special for gel. So I'm going to go ahead and take all 4 out. Now, honestly, these are colors of the season. So what I'd probably do is I would make double the amount of each of these so it would fill it more up to the top so I could actually just grab them off and use them. However, you don't have to mix that much. This is plenty for the way I'm going to show you how to use it for at least 30 clients. And I'm not even kidding. And that's if they want it on every nail. So you don't have to waste your product and put it to the top unless you love that color and you use it a lot. Maybe you mixed an iridescent color that's super popular. But when you have like these and they're popular but not as something like an iridescent, this is plenty. So what you'll do is you'll pick it up and you'll put it in here. So you'll have one custom mix. Now let's do our blue color. Oh my gosh, I love this color. I think it's because it looks like vacation and I haven't been on one in a really long time. Hopefully in 2021, right? After you transferred them all into their little containers, clean your tile with Swipe. So now what I did is I already prepped Protein Bond and put base and cured my base, so I'm ready for application. So I was explaining to you earlier, sometimes I make it really runny, sometimes I make it thicker. If I'm gonna make it runny, it's because I wanna drizzle it in spots and kind of just have it lay and be high and thin in spots. Depends what kind of art you're doing. I mainly make it a little thicker because then it's like a full coverage background or for a solid dimensional nail, so I primarily make it a little thicker. Okay, so here's my mix right here. So what I'm gonna do here is pick some up. So you get it on and put it in front of your brush. It's kind of the consistency of your clear sculptor. So you could literally like cover the whole nail and it will self-level and not flow over your free edges. So let's get this on. You'll see how it might look a little rough right now. Gel self-levels. I'm gonna be able to do all 4 of these without it moving on me. That's why I like this thickness. Okay, let's get a little orange wood stick just in case. It looks like I kind of went. There we go. Now this is reality in salon. You're doing more than one color, right? I do this all the time. So you'll see it's not gonna move. I could set her down right there. Let's go to the next color. I cleaned off my brush, right? Or you could clean it off on here. Either or, whatever you prefer. So now for my next color, it's pretty mint color. Just kind of get it on. As you can see, it's like some are a little thicker than others. It's fine. Remember, you could always add more clear if you decide to. You start working with it and you're like, oh man, I need to add clear. Just add clear in here, mix it up a little bit and go for it from there. Now remember, this is gonna self-level, so if it's looking messy, trust the process. The whole process doesn't have to be pretty. I feel like my process with acrylic is a little more prettier than gel because it's more like a mold. This you guide and it kind of has a mind of its own. There we go. as you could see, I just finished applying this at self level. Look at my first one I did. It's still there. That's why I like to do it a little thicker. I could just keep moving. My next one, let's use our cool orange. I have not cured my other ones yet. I'm just working. I got a little bit too much on here, no big deal. Let's come back up here, work it around our cuticle area. As you could see when I'm applying, I don't apply flat. I always have my finger down. These ones you could keep flat if you want. It's completely up to you. But it's pretty thick, so it's gonna stay there. It's like a clear sculptor consistency in our Synergy containers. Now our clear sculptor and our precision gels is a little more runny. It's more like a build. So the reason why we did that, it's pretty universal. You could extend with it, you could custom mix with it. It's pretty cool. Okay, and this one too, looks kind of rough. It's gonna self-level just like these. So don't keep playing with it because you'll waste your time. Just clean it off if you went a little too far over and go from there. Go to your next color, our pretty pink. So now my pink, this one's a little thicker too, no big deal. I'm gonna work with it a little different. This will self-level just like my other one. Again, it looks like it's really thick, but if you look at the sides, it's actually applying very thin with full coverage. See how it's starting to self-level? This looks like bubble gum. Chewing gum and doing nails. I try not to, because I'll really get into it. Chewing my gum. Okay, once I have it on. Now let's say you're just gonna wear this like this, right? Which is custom mix, it's really pretty. I would cure it, which I will show you in just a second, but say you wanted to add some mylar or something in it. This is not cured yet. You could actually get it and kind of press it into it or lay it on top of it. Okay, but I kind of like what's going on right now. So let's cure this for 30 seconds. So now I'm going to encapsulate this with Clear Sculptor. I always like to use either Build Pink or Clear Sculptor and the Precision Gels, whichever one you prefer. I always like to encapsulate it with something, and I'll tell you why. If you have a color like, say you have a primary color in there and you built it all up, like your strength and your proper structure with the color. When you go to file like say an emerald green or like a blue, all your primary colors that are cut with silver, when you start filing, you're gonna see silver. What if you don't wanna see silver in that color and that nail? So I suggest always capping it. It also gives it a really cool wicked dimension effect. It saves your color, which that costs more money than your builder gels. So I always encapsulate mine. So I'm going to use my Precision Gel Clear Sculptor. Now with this is a little more runny. So I may complete one on one hand. She goes under the light while I'm doing it on the other hand, right? So I'm constantly in motion. So what I'm gonna do is get my gel. See how I get it in front of my tube pretty much. And then I just kind of pillow it around the cuticle area. And as you could see, it's already starting my dimension for me. So I'm gonna kind of bring it down to the edge like this, then fill up my sides so it doesn't droop on my sides. Okay, so I'm gonna flash her for like about 10 seconds. So what that did was harden my top layer. See? Is it fully cured? No, not at all. It still needs cure time, but it's gonna allow me to carry on to my next one. So again, squeeze it right here. And kind of don't squeeze on top because you can't see what you're doing. If you squeeze at an angle, pillow it around the cuticle area and then start bringing it down. Now I quit squeezing and I use my gel I have, kind of bring it all the way down, fill in my sides. Now I'm taking a soft ride on top of my gel. I am not inside my gel. I'm just barely touching the top of it and guiding it. Now the other one was my first one, so I obviously like took out a lot and had to fix it a little, not fix it, but take some off. You kind of get the feel as you go. Flash it for 10 seconds and then go on to your next one. Okay, so let's cover this one. This one I built up the orange a little more than the others. I'm just not gonna put as much because I don't need as much, but I'm still encapsulating it. Let's flash this for 10 seconds. Okay, let's encapsulate this one. You could totally see the colors floating in there. It looks like they're suspended in it. That's the cool thing about custom mixing. It's creating that dimensional effect. Okay, so let's final cure this for 1 minute. So now they fully cured for 1 minute. I am going to wipe off the sticky layer and file them off camera and come back with the finished look.
Give us one of these if you liked our video. We always want you to subscribe, so do that right now.